Hey guys, what is up? So today I'm going to be putting a battery in this 2009 Toyota Camry. So I've jumped this car off and the door chime is still working, but jumped this car off several times and she is dead. So almost, but dead. So I've jumped it off several times, and yeah, the battery must have a dead cell in it or whatever. This battery is the factory original battery for this Toyota, so probably manufactured 08, 09 and came in this car from factory, so that lasted a very long time for a battery. So that is going to be what we do today, is put a new battery in this car, and I'll give you the tool list and show you what we need and what you need if you need to put a battery in your Toyota that's like this. So I went with the Walmart brand because it is the cheapest that you can get, and it is a EverStart Platinum, and it's the 24F 750 cold cranking amps, and it is a AMG or AGM battery. What that means is it is a maintenance-free battery. That means that it is sealed and you do not have to worry about the battery acid, which is awesome. But you can mount those batteries pretty much any way you want because they are sealed. What tools that I'll be using and what you'll need to change this out is a ratchet, or in my case I'm using my handy dandy Bosch, and a 10mm socket and a 10mm wrench, and I've got acid detector, preventative, and a little bit of electrical cleaner. And all that's going to do is help us clean up our connections and make sure we get the best connection possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, let's get the hood raised up. As you can see, here's our battery, and we've got to remove both terminals. One of your terminals will be underneath this cap, and the only bolts you got to worry about are these. This one here, and then we got to take off this cross brace. It's got a bolt here and a bolt here. So let's grab our tools and get at it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do before I take the battery out, and you don't have to do these steps, you can just put the battery in and go, but I'm going to clean the terminals with this acid detector first. So just shake it up a little bit and you spray it on. And it does make a mess. Okay, so once that's sprayed on, you got to let it sit for just a few minutes, and be a good time to take a brush or whatever and scrub them if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let it sit. So once it's sit for a few minutes, we'll come back and I'll show you what we got. Alright guys, it's been about, it says to leave it on there for 2 to 4 minutes. I've let it sit for about 5 or 6. So now all I'm going to do is take some of this connection cleaner, or you can use whatever you got. You don't have to use this. You can use some water or whatever just to clean this off. I use this because it's fast evaporating and it's plastic safe. So just take it. I'm just going to hose all this down. Anywhere I got that stuff. And try not to get any of that acid detector on your paint, because it will eat or discolor your paint. So alright, so now gotta let that dry for just a second, and it'll be quick because the sun's coming out. Just a regular old socket. I just got it on my impact driver. Use a deep well to get these out, because that's you have to have a deep well or a wrench. And I'm going to take these loose first. So you don't have to remove this one all the way, I don't think. I think it's actually, or maybe you do. Let me see. Nope, it's actually got a little rod. So the only one you got to take out all the way is the front one. So with that off, just lay it out of the way. I'm going to take my screw, stick it back in, just so I don't lose it. This, you won't have this. This is aftermarket because I put HID kit in this car. So I'm just going to tuck it out of the way. Now I'm going to grab our 10mm wrench and take our terminals loose. When taking terminals loose, I recommend always taking off the positive first. So all you got to do is loosen it up until it starts to move. Once you get it, just wiggle it off of there. Sit it to the side. Same thing over here. And you're going to be able to use, actually, so this terminal is a little messed up. I don't think, you shouldn't run into this problem, but if you do, mine has just been corroded away a little. So my 12-point won't take it off, but my 6-point socket took it off. And this one, it seems to be very tight. So I'm going to take this wrench and just slightly get underneath it and wiggle. You don't want to pull down hard because you'll break that terminal off the battery, but just wiggle it. So with that off of there, you can tuck it to the side just like that, and then we're going to pull this battery. So some batteries you have the option of having a nice handle. This one does not, so I'm going to use this big rag and try to tilt it and get under it. Oh, okay. So with that out of the way, I recommend cleaning your battery tray. So I will do the same thing as I did with the other. I'll soak it with some acid detector and then clean it off. I'll do that off camera so you don't have to watch all that. There is a ground terminal down underneath this battery, if you can see it, and they are very prone on these cars to getting acid built up around them, and it'll cause you to have some electrical issues. There is also one down in here that goes to the top of your transmission right here, and both of those, because of where they are located, you end up having some issues because of battery corrosion. So like I did before, I'm just going to spray those and clean them, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I've let them sit, and I did take an old brush I had and I just kind of scrubbed over them, and I cleaned this terminal out. It was a lot worse than I thought it was. So just stick it down in there and twist it back and forth. They actually make battery terminal cleaners, but this old brush worked just fine. Now I'm going to take this stuff again and just spray all this off, wipe it down as I go. Make sure we get all that gunk off of there. Now, if you don't have the electrical part cleaner, that's fine. You could use some brake clean, whatever you got laying around. It ain't no big deal. So I'm just wiping everything off so it's nice and clean. Same thing here. I recommend if you're doing any batteries to wear gloves, because I'm not, but it's probably a good idea, because battery acid will burn your skin. I'm just spraying down stuff where I got that stuff at, just to clean it off so it don't stay on it. Take this and I'm going to spray that off just to make sure it doesn't have any battery acid on it, and clean it. And I'm going to clean that tray and I'll be right back. Alright, so with our battery tray all cleaned up, all of our grounding points cleaned up, and our stuff all ready to go, move these out of our way. And this goes in a certain way. You got these two little knobbies and they line up with the two little notches down there, so there's only one way it can go in, and that's like that. So now that that's in there, we can grab our new battery and make sure you match up your terminals. So your positive post will go to your positive side, so she'll go in there just like this, just like that. And then it comes with covers. You have to remove these covers, but I'm going to leave them on for a minute. First thing I'm going to do is reinstall the tie down. So the tie down, I cleaned it up. It has a little hook. That hook goes in the back and it will turn like this and hook in. So there's a little spot down here, and you'll see. So that's that spot. It's hooked in. So we're going to take our bolt, remove it, get everything lined up. Get our bolt in. Come on. Got our bolt in. Got this lined up. Now I'm going to put a little pressure here on holding that up. Take my impact and boom. Tighten that. Tighten this. Just like that. I'm going to loosen this up a little and slide this battery back some so it's more even. Then I'm going to tighten her down. So just like that, she's all lined up and good to go. So I recommend hooking up your positive first. Now you can buy them little battery grommets that go on these that are supposed to help with acid and all that stuff. I don't even bother. Put your terminal on, get it on there. You're going to probably want to take something and hit it on there, because new terminals or new batteries. So I'm just going to take the back of my drill and just tap it down on there, just like that, all the way around, like so. So with that on there, take your 10 mil and tighten down that terminal. Don't overdo it, but make sure they're snug. So, right there, just like that. Now we're going to do the negative. Pull off your cap, terminal on, get your terminal straight where you want it at. And if you remember, we had a problem with this one with the nuts. I'm going to have to force my impact in there. So, knock this terminal down on there real good. And then I'm going to take this, make sure you don't touch anything. Ground anything is fine, but because it's ground. So that is on there. We're hooked up. We're good to go. I'm going to take my 2 battery terminal caps that I got, and I'm going to put them on the old battery, just so nothing can arc off by accident during transport. Now we're going to switch from the acid detector to the acid preventative. So this is basically spray paint. So you can hear the ball in there. Make sure you shake it up real good. And then all you want to do, I'm going to give it a little test spray off to the side. All you want to do is coat your terminals, which that should be red, and it's not. So we've got to shake it up a little more. Wipe it back off. This thing red. My stuff is very old. I've used it to install hundreds of batteries. So, I guess she ain't red no more. So, anyways, we're just gonna spray this stuff on. You can put it on your bolts, and you are good to go. So you can wipe off your excess with a rag, just around it here, just to make sure it's nice and clean. Then you take your battery cover and just pop it back down, and boom, battery installed. Now that we got our battery installed, let's see if she starts. And just like that, guys, we got our brand new battery installed. She's up and running. There's our old battery. And I don't know exactly how old that is, but it is a factory original. So yeah, hope this helps somebody to install a battery in their Toyota or any other vehicle. They're all about the same. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you go like and subscribe.